The anniversary event's coming up, and it's going to be a great way to gear out, and probably the best gear or the highest end gear you'll be able to get in the anniversary event will be from the Blackrock Depths raid. That's right, a fully revamped raid version of Blackrock Depths is coming. All new bosses, well, a lot of the same bosses too, and with new mechanics, new ways to do the fights. It should be a lot of fun. Here it is, a complete breakdown of the new raid coming in the anniversary event from Mr. GM. Here it is, the Blackrock Depths raid overview.
Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Blackrock Depths.
Oh yeah, we're going to run it.
Specifically, we're going to talk about the Blackrock Depths raid in patch 11.05. This is a brand new level 80, 10 to 15 player raid coming to the game with patch 11.05.
15 player raid is so interesting. The one thing I do wish they did, honestly, and I know maybe it's like just mechanically insane, but I wish we had a 40-man raid for the anniversary. I mean, that's really anniversary-esque. We haven't had 40-man raids since vanilla, or since, actually, did we have in Burning Crusade? I think we did. Wasn't Gruel's Lair a 40-man? I can't remember now. But damn, it was, I miss 40-mans. Yes, they're pure chaos, but man, it's just something about seeing 40 people on your screen, you know, bitch slapping a dragon. Something about it's just epic. I kind of miss it.
Of World of Warcraft. But before we jump into everything you need to know about this raid, just want to shout out the sponsor of this video, and that is Boot.dev. Boot.dev is an online platform where you learn back-end web development from start to finish in Python and Go programming languages. Boot.dev know that the smartest way to learn code is to make sure you're never bored. Boot.dev is online, self-paced, and feels like a captivating RPG game. This platform is designed to get you writing a ton of code because they know that getting your hands on the keyboard and shipping projects is the only real way to learn.
There it is.
And programmers have an amazing earning potential. According to Stack Overflow, the median salary for back-end developers in the US in 2023 was over $100,000. And better yet, programmers often have the option to work remotely or from home. So click the link in the description and use my code MrGM to get 25% off your first month or even your entire first year if you choose the annual plan. And thanks again to Boot.dev for sponsoring this video. Right, so yes, Blackrock Depths is coming back. It is coming back in patch 11.05. As of the recording of this video, we do not have a release date for 11.05.
Awesome.
However, it is very heavily rumored.
Just like nostalgic memories of Blackrock Depths. I'm very much a Lord of the Rings fan, and that was what got me into World of Warcraft, actually was Lord of the Rings. This dungeon always reminded me so much of Lord of the Rings. Just the feel of it, the music from it, everything about it. I mean, I just wanted to be Gandalf shouting, "You shall not pass," and sticking my staff in the ground and breaking a bridge. It would have been amazing if that was actually a moment in this dungeon. But this dungeon, very like just classic, quintessential fantasy dungeon. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's the fire everywhere, the stone. Maybe it's the music. But something about it is just like perfect. Perfect fantasy.
Be October 22nd. This raid is directly related to the event, and we've had no further confirmation whether or not it is staying after the event, but as of right now, it is scheduled to end on January 7th. So October 22nd to January 7th. This is, though, a fully fledged raid. This will be available in Raid Finder, Normal, and Heroic mode. So this is a regular raid, which will drop gear, which is going to be relevant to you and your character. Now, to enter this raid, you will need to speak to Moira at the Caverns of Time for Normal and Heroic mode. Obviously, if you just want to queue into Raid Finder, you can just use the Dungeon Finder for that. This, of course, will be cross-faction for...
so we're gonna... Wait, are we gonna have to queue for this then? That kind of sucks. So it's gonna be like a time-walking raid where we're gonna have to form up the group and then queue for it? Okay. Kind of wish we could just walk in.
Finder for that. This, of course, will be cross-faction for normal and heroic modes like any other regular raid. What's really cool about this is this raid will actually give you progression on your Great Vault on the raid row. So all of the 8 main bosses will actually give you credit towards your weekly Great Vault.
This is awesome. This is... Holy crap. That means you could technically do the first 3 bosses from Nurubar Palace and then the first 3 from Blackrock Depths all and get you fill out your vault completely with heroic level raid gear. Oh shit!
Volt. So let's talk about
That's
bosses
really
in the raid.
good.
Now, I was pretty impressed with this because I genuinely thought maybe it's just going to be, you know, the regular bosses with slightly higher damaging mechanics, but they've gone full out on this. They've made entirely new boss mechanics similar to something you'd see in like a regular seasonal raid in the War Within, which is really impressive, actually. I've done a lot of testing of this on the PTR. It's been a ton of fun, and I'm very much looking forward to trying this with an organized group or with the guild or even with a pug. It's going to be a lot of fun to take on these bosses again.
We'll be pugging
Now,
it.
in regards to PTR testing, it was hard to get an idea of how difficult this raid's going to be just because of the scaling, because we were scaled down to basically LFR gear in normal, so it made it a little bit harder. But with a little bit of organization, we can get through the mechanics. So I don't think this is going to be particularly harder than Nuremberg Palace in some regard. So there are
The thing is, this is going to drop 619 heroic level raid gear. So if these bosses are easier, like he's saying, than Narubar Palace, this might be the go-to. Like, everyone's just going to do this instead of doing Narubar Palace once it comes out. Because if the bosses are easier, this is going to be a quick way to get some heroic level raid gear.
Main bosses in the raid and 5 mini bosses. So for the main bosses, you have Lord Rokkar, Baelgar, Lord Incendius, Golem Lord Argelmark, the 7, General Angerforge, Ambassador Flamelash, and the final boss, of course, will be Emperor Dagrand Thurison.
Dagrand's dad.
As for mini-bosses, you'll have High Interrogator Gersten, Howlmaster Grebmar, Phineas Darkvire, Phalanx, and Pyromancer Lorgrain. So a ton of bosses in this raid. Of course, the main bosses having full mechanics, and then the mini bosses just having, like, you know, the odd thing here and there. Most of the time, you don't even realize you're attacking them, and then they drop like random BOEs or something like that at a slightly lower item level. But yeah, really cool to see some of these bosses.
If they drop good BOEs, it's fine. Mini bosses aren't really bosses by any means. Like he just said, you'll probably be fighting them and not even realize they're a mini boss. I am hoping it's not too much trash, that's for sure. Like, too much time between boss fights, but mini bosses aren't a big deal.
Returning from
they drop
the
BOEs,
original
that's cool.
Blackrock depths. So let's talk about loot. What is going on with the loot in this raid? Well, you'd be happy to know that this drops the exact same item levels as the Nuremberg Palace. So on Raid Finder, you can expect Veteran gear. That's item level 584 to 593, upgradable to 606. In normal mode, you can expect Champion gear starting at item level 597, going up to 606, and of course, upgradable to 619. And then in Heroic mode, of course, you will get Hero Track gear.
That's
starting
crazy.
at item level 610 and going all the way up to 619 and upgradable to 626. So yeah, pretty great loot from here. The items you can expect from this is Blackrock depths.
I mean, it's gonna be a must do. If it's dropping gear that can be upgraded to 626, everybody's gonna be doing this thing.
With very similar effects like the Hand of Justice and Iron Foe and things like that, slightly adjusted and upgraded to 2024 standard.
I'd assume they're going to drop the same crest that heroic level raid drops right now. So it's going to be probably the same, because we've already seen all the quests and everything from the event are going to be giving us flight stones. They're going to be giving us crests. So it's probably very much the same in terms of the currencies that are going to drop off these bosses based on whatever difficulty you're doing.
But yes, the appearances and everything like that are standard across the board, and there doesn't look like there's any particularly new appearances dropping from this, so that's good in regards to Transmog Collection. But yeah, the gear here is going to be pretty competitive compared to some of the stuff from Nuremberg Palace, and potentially the raid will be a lot easier, so this is a really nice way to catch up some of your alts, or just change up your raid night and go into Blackrock Depths instead of Nuremberg Palace. And finally, one thing that's really cool about this raid is that it actually has purchasable gear similar to bullions. So in this raid from bosses, you'll be getting these new items called Time Warped Relic Coffer Keys. Now, these drop on each difficulty, so there's a version for raid.
So there's going to be a separate currency that drops off these guys too. I wonder if that means we're not going to get crests. Interesting. As Azur, you were asking, maybe we're going to get just these, or we're going to get these on top of what we usually get. Time Warped Relic Coffer Keys.
Normal and Heroic. The maximum you can get from each difficulty is 120, and these are used to purchase any item from the raid.
Oh my god. Oh shit. Wait a minute. This is crazy. This is so good. So you can be able to pick your slot. So if I'm still lacking, like right now, I think I still got like gloves that are like 590 or something. Oh my god, I'll just be able to pick the gloves and buy them with the. This is huge. What the hell?
Basically, if you just kill bosses in each difficulty, you can get 3 guaranteed items from each difficulty using these keys. Now, each main boss will drop around 3 to 4 keys.
So 3 pieces of heroic level raid gear upgradable to 626. You could just pick which ones.
per kill,
That's
and then the
oh
mini
my
bosses
God,
will drop
that's really
1
good.
to 2. So you're going to get quite a few keys for each of your runs. And as mentioned, there is a maximum of 120 per difficulty per character. These are not account wide. This will be a per character basis. So you can just purchase some of the best drops from this raid if you didn't get lucky with loot, which is really nice actually. I really like the bullion system, and it's really cool to see it coming in
talk about
here
quality of
as a
life for
nice
sure.
little catch up for Season 1 of The War Within. So there you go. That is everything you need to know about the new Blackrock Depths raid coming in patch 11.05. It's really cool to see this coming in. Really interesting to see it being a 10 to 15 man raid as well. Is this something we could see more in the future? Kind of like a mini raid of sorts, or sort of like a half season?
Hopefully.
Very nice. Really good for catch-up gear, and just going to be a lot of fun.
I do hope they continue to do stuff like a raid like this. It's fun. It's an additional raid, kind of breaks the monotony of grinding the current raid. Like eventually, I hope one day they give us like some kind of, I don't know, Christmas raid event, right? Where you're doing like a goblin present factory or something. You're raiding Santa Claus's present factory. I don't know. But just stuff like these 10 to 15 man raids, they're really cool. And obviously, quick way to gear out. I mean, damn.
And I'm hoping it does stick around. This doesn't seem directly linked to Time Walking
feels like
Classic.
real WoW plus
However,
true.
there's certainly a chance it could come back with Time Walking Classic, as that's now going to be in the regular rotation. So, guys, let me know what you think of this raid down below in the description. Are you going to be doing it? Are you excited for it? What do you think? Do let me know. But if you like this video, guys, please do leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon and I'm on Twitter, MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And I am also streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, War Within PTR, 11.05 PTR, this is where we did all the testing on stream. So if you do want to get involved with that, guys, do check me out on stream at twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.
There it is. Yeah, great. There's so much potential here that I didn't even think about. Like, beyond just gearing out, beyond doing the raid and actually progressing in the game, this could open up 10 to 15 man raid events for all kinds of stuff. Like, I briefly mentioned the Santa Claus factory or whatever. Imagine, like, we've talked about so much, a Scarlet Monastery raid. Like, imagine a Scarlet Monastery Halloween raid. 10 to 15 man, opening that shit up for everybody. Oh my god. There's so much potential with this to just make these raid tier seasons so much better. Right? Because, like, with Mythic Plus, the season doesn't feel as long because you're doing a variety of dungeons. You're doing, right, there's like, what is it, 10 dungeons usually in the rotation, or should I say 5, 6 dungeons in the rotation, whereas the raid is the same the entire time. When you add in these extra 10 to 15 man raid events, this just makes it so much more fun and less grindy. I hope they continue to do stuff like this. So far, though, the anniversary event itself, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and this is going to be a great way to gear out for sure.